This is question 20 from the SACE Stage 2 Physics course companion in Chapter 1.3 Circular Motion and Gravitation. Pan orbits Saturn with an orbital radius of 1.34 times 10 to the power of 5 kilometers and with an orbital period of 0.58 days. Methane orbits Saturn with an orbital period of 1 day. We need to use proportionality to determine the orbital radius of methane. The way we're going to do this is using Kepler's third law. So, T squared equals 4 pi squared on gm r cubed. Now, to use proportionality, and this is one way that I think is the easiest to do it, is if we have the period and a radius, for example, in this question, we know that 4 pi squared on gm is a constant. Now, that'll be constant for every application of Kepler's third law. So we can write this as T squared on r cubed equals a constant. So now we can replace T squared and r cubed with our subscripts for methane and pan. So since it's a constant, we'll write the period of methane squared divided by the orbital radius of methane cubed will be equal to the period squared of pan divided by the orbital radius of pan cubed. Now we're trying to find the orbital radius of methane, so we can just rearrange this to get r on its own. So we'll cross multiply first, so that Tm squared multiplied by P cubed equals Tp squared multiplied by M cubed, and finally M cubed will be equal to the period of methane squared divided by the period of pan squared multiplied by the orbital radius of pan cubed. Now it's just a matter of substituting in our values and cube rooting to find our final answer. Now here, even though we usually measure the period to be in seconds, if we're dividing these two, then it doesn't really matter what units we're using, because we're multiplying the top and the bottom by 24 hours, 60 minutes and 60 seconds. They're just going to cancel out anyway, so we don't need to do this for this particular question. So I'm just going to write 1 squared on 0.58 squared multiplied by 1.34. Now here it's 1.34 times 10 to the power of 5 kilometers, which means it's 1.35 times 10 to the power of 8 meters. And we cube root all of this, and if we substitute this into our calculator, we get 1.93 times 10 to the power of 8 meters.